you know, a lot of people haven't heard of me, and yet I write for 7 newspapers and magazines around the world. I have been featured on CNN and CNBC. I've been to most of the conferences well, certainly in the United States, but quite a few around the world. I haven't gotten to India yet, but I would love to. And what I do for people is I take out the whips and chains and basically get you to discipline yourself in trading. And the fact is, if you have a good methodology, a good strategy for entering and exiting a trade, and you believe in that strategy, but you're still not making money, and you've tested that strategy, the only thing left is self-sabotage. That means you not following your rules. So this is what we're going to be looking at today, why you're not making the kind of money that you should be making out of the markets. And this is a very loose type of structure for this type of webinar, because many times I'll do a webinar and people will say you're not leaving enough time for questions. So this is going to be all about the questions, and I'm making it really, really easy for you, because what I have found over the almost 21 years that I have been in this business, people more or less have the same problems and ask the same questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, here we go, that's me. I'm going to give you 30 questions. This is the first 10, and all you have to do is put down the number. Now the way this is going to work is you could either ask a question by the number, ask the question the way you want to ask the question, or ask a completely different question that's not even on here. So it's going to be very loose, and we're going to get a lot out of it if you just participate and ask the question. Okay, first question, number 2. Why should something in my past affect my trading now? You are a product of everything that you think about, everything that you ever programmed, your beliefs, attitudes, values, and the decisions you've made in your life. So you're like a computer, like Psycho-Cybernetics, if you've ever read that book. And the only way to make these kind of changes to affect yourself so that those things in the past won't affect you now is through a transformation. Transformations happen at the subconscious and the unconscious level, very seldom at the conscious level. And there are different types of coaching, and for instance in my workshops and in my books you're going to get information rather than transformation. In my seminars and my private work you get transformation. Okay, number 9. How does a winning trader think? A winning trader thinks like a winner, and the design of a winner is someone who sees themselves as already being a trader, already reaping the rewards of a trader. Their mind goes more towards the fact that they can do it rather than what they can't do. Any time that they have a mistake, they look at it as part of the learning process for getting to be a better trader, and they learn one more thing that they don't have to do. So a winning trader thinks like a winner, and a winner always thinks and believes that they will be successful at whatever they do. And when they understand that there's some impediment between them and their next level of success, the winning person will always seek out the kind of help that's necessary to make that happen. Okay, number 6. Excuse me. What are the advantages of trading schools as opposed to failing your way to success? Well, you know, about 20 years ago there was very few trading schools, very few people. Sometimes you would get a mentor that would teach you, and there wasn't that much structure. And that's the way people learned how to trade, was to fail their way to success. In other words, they would come up with some kind of strategy for entering a trade, some kind of money management rules, And what they would do is they would work on this for a while, and then they would find that if they had enough money to continue, that they would learn from that, and then they would change their strategy to adapt to the new set of information that they had, and they would do that for a while, and they would do it again. Now, the average trader takes about 3 years to be profitable. Trading schools, a school that will give you the technique and give you the lessons that you need to learn, when you have this type of opportunity, it will lessen the time. And the kind of schools that I teach are the psychological schools. So if you're like some people, you take the psychology first because you realize it's the most important part ultimately. But most people start with the technique, and a trading school will get you through several hurdles before you have to give up all your money. Okay, let's see, number 7. Can anyone be a trader, or are you born with it? Excuse me. Everyone is born with a certain set of talents that comes from your genes. And along the way you learn lessons, and those lessons, if they have to do with discipline, and if they have to do with being an entrepreneur, and if they have to do with the kind of things that you have to have as a trader, you are born into it from the kind of trading you have. One of the best traders I've ever worked with was a weightlifter, a championship weightlifter, and he went on to be a mega millionaire because of the discipline he had in lifting weights. Let's see. 1. Why am I so afraid of losses, even small ones? If you think back to everything that's ever happened to you in your life, it had to do with a loss. And you don't want to go to that place of losses. There's this place that I call the cesspool that is inside of you. This cesspool has all of the issues of your life. Anytime something bad happened to you, it had to do with a loss. So you don't want to go to that place, because when you constrict and restrict your neurological system from feeling totally all of the emotions that go into having a loss, and you push it down like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, I'll think about it tomorrow, then it builds up in you inside, and you repress these emotions. And then when you have a loss in trading, well, you think it's part of the game, and it's not a big deal. And then you have another loss, and then getting a little bit edgy, the third loss, you're beginning to really worry. The fourth loss, you go into that cesspool, and then it's not about that loss, it's about all the losses of your life. And you develop this neurological system that makes you afraid even when you look at it, an opportunity. So that's the reason that people are afraid of even small losses. Well, the way you guys are working, I'll probably answer all of these questions, but remember, we've got 20 more. So, how long should it take to be profitable? It depends upon your training and your approach to it. If you're the kind of person that comes in with very little money, very little education, and you're doing it part-time, it's going to take you a while. If you make the right decisions and choices, and the right decisions and choices is to have a mentor, either in a school or privately, who teaches you a technique that is suited to you, and you put together a business plan, because a business plan should be part of the education, and